Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order, episode 56. This time I read Fantastic Four 175, the October 1976 issue. I thought this was going to be a double-sized issue, anniversary issue 175. It's not, it's just regular sized. This copy is really bad. I did a video a little while ago where I purchased a bunch of Fantastic Four so I could do this series. I was missing this issue, and this issue was in a lot of Fantastic Four comics I got on eBay. Unfortunately, when I received the condition was pretty poor. If you can see how bad the spine is, and when I opened it up, one of the pages was loose. Still, at least it was still there, but it was loose. So this one's pretty rough. This copy is definitely very good plus or fine minus. I don't know what a missing page does to a grade of a book, but, well, it's not missing, but a detached page, a loose page, what that would do, but probably knock it right down into the good range, I'm sure. But there's a bright side. I took a bunch of comics that I didn't want to a flea market. There's a guy that has a comic book booth, and he will trade. And I was able to get a very nice copy of 175. So I'm just going to use this one for the purposes of this video, and then it will go probably in my little store. I'll put this in the buy four get one free for $4 bin. This picks up where the last issue left off. Got a cool Jack Kirby cover to start. Got excellent artwork on the interior by John Buscema. This is the third issue in a row that he has drawn. He's filling in for George Perez. George Perez took the place of what was his name? Rich Buckler. George Perez did a few issues, then he left. I'm not sure why, if he's working on a different title at this time or not. But John Buscema did 3 issues. This is the third and final issue that John Buscema did, and in this issue, he actually inks his own art. So this issue looks really good. Written by Roy Thomas, of course. But this is the culmination of several issues now, at least 3 issues, if not more. This is the culmination of this storyline with the High Evolutionary and Galactus. The High Evolutionary has created his own Counter-Earth, which is on the opposite side of the sun from Earth. So Earth does not see Counter-Earth and vice versa. But since Galactus has sworn to not eat our Earth, or the Fantastic Four's Earth, he is going to eat Counter-Earth, because he's made no such promise there. This picture right here, now, like I said, John Buscema does the artwork, and he inks himself in this issue. This looks very purposely like Jack Kirby to me. Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott from the older FFs. But this was a cool issue. They have a short fight. Galactus beats the High Evolutionary pretty easily. And he summons the machine that he uses to siphon the energy from planets, starts setting it up. Suddenly, the Fantastic Four start appearing around him. They are on separate worlds that were nearby that could substitute for Counter-Earth for Galactus. Galactus could eat a different one of these worlds, and all the Fantastic Four broke up into teams in the last few issues and had adventures on those Earths or those worlds, but ultimately discovered that they were not suitable for Galactus. So Galactus is going to go ahead and eat Counter-Earth. Now all of the Fantastic Four are showing back up, and they're going to fight Galactus. And they do pretty good. They topple him. They knock him over. He almost falls off the top of the Pan Am building or whatever it was he was standing on top of. Does anybody remember these toys? I remember like the Mego. I think those are the Mego dolls. I remember those. I had, I think, the Hulk and Spider-Man. The vehicles, kind of remember Captain America's car. Maybe a cousin or somebody I knew had that car. I don't remember now. But those toys look like a lot of fun. Here's the loose page. Even the Human Torch goes supernova, turns white hot. That has no effect on Galactus. And but Sue shows up. She'd almost died. She shows up from the world that she went to, and she tells Galactus to take a peek at this planet, and this planet actually says, "Come eat me." So Galactus says, "Okay," and he gets in his ship and takes off. High Evolutionary comes back. They don't know why Galactus is taken off, so they go to the High Evolutionary ship to try and figure it out. This world is populated and wants to be eaten, and they're very calmly eaten by Galactus. Now, here's the fun part. Is there anything interesting in the letters page? First of all, people really like in the last few issues, mostly. Some more complaints about Ben Grimm, of course, because Ben Grimm is now human and wearing a Thing suit. But back to the story. Galactus has eaten the planet, but he gets sick. He gets sick, and the High Evolutionary sees his chance and blasts him with his evolutionary beam, and his body shrinks and his head grows until it's just his brain, and then his brain just evolves into just energy. And that is the end of Galactus. But is it? Have we seen the end of Galactus? That's the question now. And the surprise is Sue, who's been acting a little off, is revealed to be the Impossible Man. And I guess the Impossible Man hasn't been seen since Fantastic Four number 11. So, and 2 reprintings, according to Roy Thomas. But so it was his world that got eaten by Galactus. And his argument is that they've evolved so much that they were all like a hive mind, and it was boring, and they all wanted to die. So since they were all him and he was all them, it was no problem. Galactus could eat them. He would live on with all of their minds, basically a unimind, and and that's how they trick Galactus out of eating the High Evolutionaries counter Earth. Kind of funny. Oh, Stan's Soapbox. Here we make the big announcement that they teased last month. Archie Goodwin is now going to be editor-in-chief of Marvel. And that's the big announcement here. Now, something they talk about here is Marv Wolfman and John Buscema working on Nova. I don't have any of those old Nova issues from around this era. It's just starting right about this time. But now that I look back and I know who the creative team is, I mean, Marv Wolfman and John Buscema, that's pretty sweet. So I might have to try and locate some of those, because that's got to be a good book, at least for a short time. Here's another thing. Ralph Macchio is hired. Ralph Macchio, he's helping take over Archie Goodwin was in charge of editing all of the black and white magazines, but since he was promoted to editor-in-chief, Ralph Macchio got hired to help take care of the black and white magazines. Ralph Macchio, who just a month or two ago wrote a letter to one of the books that I reviewed in this series. I pointed it out in the video, but that's funny. Just a month or two after his letter got published, he gets hired by Marvel. That's so cool. But anyway, this is where we finally part ways with Gore, the golden gorilla, the golden ape, who came to Earth to recruit the Fantastic Four to come help the High Evolutionary defeat Galactus. Gore is going to stay with the High Evolutionary. Impossible Man says, "Take me to Earth with you to the Fantastic Four," and they do. And Ben Grimm, who got blasted by Galactus earlier in this issue, he's getting hot inside his Thing costume, and he realizes it's because he's turning back into the Thing. He busts out of his Thing costume as the Thing again, and it ends on kind of a downer. He begs Reed to like tell him that Reed can turn him back to human because they're heading back to Earth, and he wants to get with his girlfriend Alicia Masters, and Reed says nothing. He has nothing to say. He doesn't want to lie and say that he can cure him because he knows that he can't. So that was kind of a downer. I mean, that's an interesting end to this story, but kind of anticlimactic to the Thing getting turned back into Ben Grimm, getting turned back to human. I imagine from here on out things will just be back to normal for the Thing. He might be a little upset about not being human probably for a few issues, but I imagine it'll just be back to business as usual. But next issue, The Impossible Man's New York adventure. So that should be fun. The Impossible Man looks like a funny character. I don't think I've ever read anything with the Impossible Man. But like I said, this copy is probably going in my store. And my nice copy will go in my permanent collection. So if anybody out there knows anything about this era of the Fantastic Four, please comment down below with your facts and details and trivia. I'd love to hear it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you in future episodes of Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. I'm just getting started. I've got a long ways to go reading my comics in publishing date order. Stick around for more, and thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.